Chug-a-choo-choo, here we go. Hop aboard the Storytime Express. Come and join me as we enter the world of pets. Take a look at the cute kittens and the puppy dogs. I was wondering, boys and girls, what kind of pet do you have at home? Well, I've got some pet stories for you. Put your imagination caps on and let's read about pets. Our first book is called My Pet Wants a Pet. Take a look at all the pets on this cover page. There's birds, cats, dogs. Let's see what happens when the little boy gets a pet that's going to want a pet. This is going to be interesting. And this story is by Elise Broach. Once there was a boy who wanted something to take care of, something of his very own. He begged and he begged and he begged his mother. Until, what do you know? She said yes. The boy loved his puppy. He fed him and played with him and cuddled him in his arms. The puppy loved his boy. He licked him and jumped on him and fell asleep in his lap. They had the best time together, the boy and his pet. Such a good time, in fact, that the puppy decided that he, too, wanted a pet. The boy's mother thought this was a terrible idea. The puppy is your pet, she said. He does not need a pet. But the boy understood that the puppy wanted something to take care of, something of his very own. And so the puppy got a kitten. A furry, orange kitten. Truth be told, the boy was surprised at this choice. Dogs chase cats, he told the puppy. And the puppy did chase the kitten, but only as a game. And afterwards, he let her eat from his bowl and play with his ball, and they dozed in the sun side by side. In fact, they got along so well and had so much fun together that it wasn't long before the kitten herself wanted a pet. When the boy told his mother this, she looked at him like he was crazy. That kitten is the pet of your pet. She certainly does not need a pet. But the boy and the puppy understood that the kitten wanted something of his very own to take care of. And so the kitten came home one day with a bird, a pretty red bird. Now, once again, this seemed like an odd choice. Cats catch birds, the boy told the kitten. And the kitten did sometimes pounce on the bird, but really it was all in good fun. The kitten made sure that the bird had water and places to fly and a perch, and they got along so well and did so many marvelous things together that soon enough, what do you think? The bird wanted a pet. Now this is getting ridiculous, said the boy's mother. That bird is the pet of your pet. She does not need a pet. But the boy knew she did. She really did. And so the bird brought home a worm, a little green worm, and the boy started to explain that birds eat worms, but then he decided to leave well enough alone. And the bird took such good care of the worm and was so gentle when she carried him and so quick to protect him that before long, guess what? The worm wanted a pet. What? Cried the boy's mother. That worm is the pet of the pet of the pet of your pet. He does not need a pet. But the boy knew that even a worm might need something to take care of, something of his very own. And so the worm found a flea. He was a tiny brown flea and it hopped all over the house, while the worm had trouble keeping up with it. But he followed the flea and looked after it, and soon they were the best of friends. And such good friends, in fact, that in no time at all, can you imagine what happened next? That's right, the flea wanted a pet. Absolutely not, said the boy's mother. That flea is the pet of the pet of the pet of the pet of your pet. No more pets. But that didn't stop the flea, because of course he wanted something of his very own to take care of. And so the flea decided that the puppy would be his pet. Oh, life was wonderful. The boy and the puppy and the kitten and the bird and the worm and the flea were as happy as could be because they all had pets. But there was someone very special and important who wasn't happy. She wasn't happy at all. Now the boy and the puppy and the kitten and the bird and the worm and the flea were a little bit worried. None of them wanted to give up their pets. What were they going to do? The boy thought long and hard about this, and then he had an idea. What's he going to do, boys and girls? He's got this big box. His mother needed something to take care of, something of her very own. Because whenever you take care of something, that someone takes care of you. Aww. He sent himself to his mother. Very cute. All right, so that was our first book about pets. My Pet Wants a Pet. Let's see what other kinds of books we have today. This one is entitled The Best Pet Ever. I think we all would agree that the pet we have is the best pet ever. But let's see what this little girl, looks like she has a balloon. Is that a pet? Let's see what happens. This book is by Victoria Roberts. Mom, can I have a pet? Please? Mom, can I have a pet? Look at all those animals she's wanting. We'll see. So, I see a rock, a smooth rock. I tie a string around it, and I will call him Fluffy. I take Fluffy for walks and let him off his leash if he's good. And he is good. Uh-oh, for a day or two. Oh, look, the string broke. There goes her pet rock. Mom, can I have a pet? Please? Mom, can I have a pet? We'll see. And so I see a glove, a soft, woolly glove, and I put her in the basket and I call her Nibbles. I tickle Nibbles in her basket. I feed her when she's hungry, and she is hungry for a day or two. Look at all the stuff she stuffed inside of Nibbles. Mom, can I have a pet? Please? Look at her jump. Mom, can I have a pet? We'll see. And so I see a candy wrapper, a shiny candy wrapper. I put it in a bowl and I call him Swishy. I give Swishy some water. I see him twist and turn as he swims, and he swims and swims for a day or two. Mom, can I have a pet? Please? Mom, can I have a pet? We'll see. And so I see a balloon, a round balloon. I draw a face on it and I call him Bruce. I pet Bruce, and he sticks to me when we hug. And we hug and we play and we dance around, and Bruce is the best pet ever. For a day or two, bang! Mom, my pet popped. He was the best pet ever, and now I can't play with him. Oh, that's a shame. Don't worry. Maybe we could find another pet for you to play with. Let's see. We see a box, a cardboard box. We lift the lid and we peek inside and we see... What do you think, boys and girls? I see a little eye right here. What's inside? Can you make a guess? It's Timmy the kitten. And Timmy is the best pet in the world. Oh, she finally has a real animal to call her own. And that was the best pet ever. All right, so we've had 2 books so far. They've been very enjoyable. At the library, we have a whole theme kit. Look at this theme kit. It is chocked full of things about pets. So let's go through here real quick. We have things about rabbits, and we have a dog breed guide, guinea pigs. Here's a story about not having an ostrich for a pet. Okay. This little girl gets a dog. This little girl wants a pet. Oh, look, unusual pets of presidents. That will be interesting. Ooh, we can draw some pets. That's a great idea. Ah, here's one on cats. Tiny pet elephant. Aw, can I be your dog? Here's one that says Meow, a kid's book about taking care of cats. And then we have this game about bunny hop. Okay, it's a memory game. It has bunnies on it. And our last item in here is Pets. It's a DVD with Pets 1 and Pets 2. So we have all these awesome items. You can go to the children's department and ask any of the librarians, and they will show you where the theme kits are. And if you want, you can check this whole thing out, and you can have it for 2 weeks and use all that material at your house. What a great idea. All right, let's get into our last book today. This one is called My Pet Book. Just like that little girl had balloons and gloves as pets, this boy's going to have a pet book. Let's see how this works out. This is by Bob Stake. Pet book. Let's see. The pet book. Most pets, you know, are cats and dogs. Go out and take a look. There's a boy in Smarty Town, though, whose pet is a little book. He never cared for puppy dogs, and kittens made him sneezy. He pleaded with his mom and dad, I want a pet that's easy. A book would make a perfect pet, he heard his mother say, and Dad had read that no pet book had ever run away. So they strolled right past the pet store to a shop with books for sale. Not a one had whiskers, fur, or fleas, or a waggy little tail. How could the boy pick out just one? Too tough for this book lover. And then a small book caught his eye, a red, frisky hardcover. Of all the books within the store, he liked this one a lot. The pages crisp, the printing fine, its spine so very taut. He didn't need to give his pet a name like Rex or Spot. It wouldn't answer anyway, and so the book was bought. It never ate, it never drank, it couldn't do a trick, it never shed, it had no fleas, and it couldn't fetch a stick. It never needed bathing, and its ears would never droop, but best of all, that little pet, it didn't even poop. A better pet you couldn't have for graceful evening strolls. It wasn't like those ill-bred dogs that drink from toilet bowls, or like a cat that always sleeps or won't turn off its purr. A pet book never makes a sound, and it doesn't lick its fur. Inside the book were many tales of awesomeness and glory. The boy imagined as he read that he was in the story. The boy would leave his pet book home. When off to school he'd go. But then one day when the boy returned, the book was gone. Oh, no! He ran away. The boy began to bleat. How could a pet book run away without a pair of feet? The maid could hear the crying boy. That sound was such a rarity. I think I know what happened. Gulp. I think I gave your book to charity. Uh-oh. While cleaning out the house of junk, the maid had grabbed a box and filled it full of household things like cups and plates and socks. The pet book must have simply been swept up while on the floor, and then the maid took the box and all straight to the old thrift store. They raced downtown in hopes that they would find it on a shelf, just sitting there and waiting near a dusty Christmas elf. It wasn't hanging with the coats or sitting with the chairs. The pet book wasn't with the lamps or snoozing with the stuffed bears. Of course, they went through all the books, the new ones and the old. The pet book wasn't anywhere. It must have just been sold. They slumped down on a musty couch, and in unison they cried. And then the maid leaned in and asked, where would a pet book hide? The boy had never thought of that. He broke into a smile. He remembered something he had seen in the dog and cat stuff aisle. If I were just a scared pet book, I'd likely sneak in here. Perhaps the dark would help me hide and make me disappear. And then with his hand, the boy reached in to feel around each nook, and then he pulled it out to see he had found his lost pet book. They drove back home, the three of them, the pet book checked for wear. The boy was quite relieved to find no one torn page was there. A crazy day they had indeed, yet the story ended well, and now the boy and his pet book had their very own tale to tell. The boy's mom gently asked him how a book could bring such joy. "It's 'cause every book's a friend," said the yawning little boy. His eyes were sleepy from the search and all the time it took, and now the boy could dream all night with his lost, but now found, pet book. All right. That was a great story. Use your books as friends because they have lots of tales to tell. All right. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Storytime Express. And we had lots of fun today imagining what it was like to have all the different kinds of pets. Join me again next time, and I will see you here on the Storytime Express. Bye.